Leave a like and subscribe right now, or she will visit you in your bed tonight. Askreddit. What was the worst thing you did as a horny teen? There was this girl I had a crush on when I was 13 or 14 that I sat beside in class. She had this habit of biting on her pen. I remember we were joking one day about how gross it was that she bites on her pen because she bit a hole in it and you could see her spit starting to collect in the tube of the pen. About an hour after that I grabbed the pen from her desk, took it to the bathroom, emptied all the saliva from it onto my dick, and jerked off using her spit as lube after I returned the pen to her desk. That is literally the most ducked up thing I ever did sexually. I remember I felt guilty about it for days, having went to Catholic school. We had a family party at my hot cousin's house one day, and when nobody was looking, I went over to their key rack and pocketed one of their house keys. After the party I went to Home Depot and made a duplicate of their house key. Her parents got mad at the rest of the family a day later because their key was missing. So in the middle of the night I went to their house, put the original key on the porch, rang the doorbell, and ran like hell. Now I had to play the waiting game. Their whole family went on vacation to Vegas for spring break, so this was my chance. In the middle of the night, after my dad dropped them off at the airport, I used the duplicate key to quietly break into their house. Now I was free to do what I was planning for the last few months. I immediately went to my hot cousin's room and stripped myself naked. I had this rush that I never experienced before because I was technically committing a crime while horny. I went into her closet and practically dove into her dirty laundry pile, rolling around in it, sniffing the duck out of it, and thing my dirty teenage self could think of. I rolled around in her bed and jizzed all over it while covered in her dirty laundry. After about 30 minutes I got nervous because I left so many lights on and saw a couple neighbors on the phone staring at the house. I went out the back door and jumped the fence, only to come face to face with another neighbor who for sure saw my face. He tried to grab my arm, but I was too quick for him and I dipped. To this day I'm scared as duck to go in their neighborhood, but holy shit, that was the greatest experience of my life. Worth it. That seems like a lot of work to get a quality fap. I applaud your effort though. I used to steal panties. Every chance I had to sneak off to some girl's room and grab a quick thong, I hopped on that shit. I plundered the drawers of middle school girlfriends, daughters of family friends, and friends' sisters. I still see some of those people, and I'll think about how close I sometimes came to being caught. When I was 12, I was home alone and extremely horny. When masturbation wasn't enough, I walked around the house, naked, with a boner. I was looking for somewhere to put it in. After some searching, I saw my bicycle. I laid it down on the floor and pillar drived my penis into the peg. I only got 2 pumps in before I realized how terrible of an idea this was. I proceeded to feel disgusted with myself for the rest of the summer. Bro, you ducked a bike. You could say he gave it a ride. I was 9. A boy at school told me and my friend about sex and masturbation and all that good stuff. He didn't really go into details, however, all I got out of it was that if you get naked and a bed is involved you'll have a good time. So I got naked and sat on my bed. I sat there for a bit and nothing happened. So eventually I gave up and got up and bam, giant shit stain all over where I was sitting. To explain to my parents I just told them I was changing my underwears and farted. Also I'm a girl. Edit. For those asking, I actually did fart. That's how the shit got there. In my mind it comes down to 1 or 2 things that I can think of. In my 8th grade Spanish class, everybody was kind of paired off with their desks, and I sat next to this one girl who I only really knew because of her boyfriend. We started talking some, and it got kind of flirty and I decided one day I would just whip out my dick, so I did that during class. I then proceeded to beat one off for her while the teacher was going on about one thing or another. That was an oddly invigorating experience. This one isn't completely the worst thing I did, but in 9th grade, my girlfriend at the time gave me a blowjob this public 2nd floor balcony that people used to enter and exit the 2nd floor of the building. Underneath this balcony was a restaurant, and being that it was midday, people were at the restaurant. I guess it was hard to tell when I would have finished because she was completely flabbergasted when I came in her mouth. She ended up going to the edge of the balcony and spitting it down to the restaurant seating below. We heard someone shout something up at us, but we bolted back inside before anything could happen. Definitely not some of my finer moments, but who hasn't been there? Quite long, but it's pretty interesting in my opinion, so let's get to it. I was 16, home alone, and a druggie. I did a line of Budger sugar since I knew my mom wouldn't be home till late. Anyways, I got super horny and jacked off about 3 times, but I was still high and really horny, so I put on a speedo I had from swim team, and while I was in the restroom admiring how fine I looked, I spotted something that could cure my horniness, a plunger. So I got the plunger and thought about how I would go about this. I figured it was way too dirty to just use scissors, so I got a condom and slapped it on that bad boy. But I ran into another problem, no lube. So I went down to my kitchen to see if I couldn't find something to use as lube. Then I saw it, vegetable oil. So I ran to the restroom, oiled up the condomed plunger, stuck it to the door and shot that bad boy up the old poop chute. So there I was riding the plunger with my speedo still on while whacking off ferociously when it starts to stink to high hell, and I kind of got a grip on what I was doing. But I thought, hey, duck it, I've already come this far, might as well finish. So I shot my load, wiped it with a speedo, and threw it and the condom in my dumpster outside to never be discovered. After my moment of shame, my ass started to bleed and hurt like hell, so I did the only sensible thing, another line, and then I shoved one of my mom's tampons up my ass to stop the bleeding. I decide to try relax after that horrendous ordeal. So there I'm watching some TV in my room when I hear my mom walk in the front door, but she's not alone. She brought her damn boyfriend home. That's when I heard her yell, "Turnip, come and meet my ass hat of a new boyfriend." So I freaked. I still had that tampon up my bumhole. But being high on coke, I figured, shit, I'm a damn rockstar, I got this. So I go down there confident as can be and meet this huge brick shit house of a man, all the while a tampon is dangling out of my ass. Everything was going well until I sat on the couch to chat. The tampon got sucked up into my abyss of a rectum. So I try to rush to my room as soon as small talk was done, but my mom dropped a bomb. She tells me that they picked up Chinese and they want me to sit and eat with them at the table, so I have no choice. As I'm sitting there, I feel the Tammy start playing prairie dog with my brown starfish. Then I felt the worst sensation to date. The blood and poop covered tampon came squeezing out of ass. Asshat exclaimed, "What the hell is that smell? Something dying here?" I said the dog must have pooped somewhere and went to clean it up. I had to clench the poop and blood covered tampon between my cheeks all the way to the restroom where I disposed of it. I then promptly took a shower, then dismissed myself for bed. In 8th grade, I saw a girl's boob touch the edge of her desk, not like naked boob or anything, but like fully clothed boob. When nobody was in the room, I went over and licked the desk. I'm not proud of this. Got an in-house suspension, which is when you have to sit in a room all day at school rather than stay at home. The room I had to stay in was attached directly to the vice principal's office. It had nothing in it except for a table and a chair. I was supposed to be doing homework all day. After a few hours of doing nothing and no one checking in on me, I beat the shit out of my dick. Came on the carpet. Reposting my comment from a similar thread about a year ago. I was about 13. I was out fishing in the great outdoors, swimming through the water, and fishing in one of these things. So I'm partially under the water. I'd been out there for a while, and I got the urge. Since there's nothing boner inducing about fishing, perhaps it was a boredom boner, since I wasn't getting any bites. Long story short, I jerked it. I came into the water and the current began to take it. It was no more than 5 or so feet away from me when a fish came up and ate it. I turned a rainbow trout into a cum-guzzling fish whore. Was really young, right before I really learned how to properly fap, but still exploring sexual stuff. I would do things like hump my pillow or carve a hole into an earth bowl for my wang. All that was well and good until I tied my dick to my chair and then proceeded to trip over a stuffed animal, almost ripping my dick off. I still have the scars. Oh, the humanity. I had a really soft and fluffy blanket on my bed. I would get naked and lay on it because it was so soft. Then I started moving around and found out how great it felt on my dick. I would eventually start to come on that blanket. A lot. Several times a night. No cleanup. I just left it. My mom mentioned how dirty it was when she washed it one time. Edit. Apparently I'm no getting tagged as cum blanket. Duck. She knew. That was probably her subtle way of saying stop jizzing on the blanket, it's gross. I masturbated on an airplane. That was cool, I guess. Hijacking. There, I said it. I used to ride my bike quite a lot when I was a teenager. One day, I got this idea to ride my bike to my grandmother's house. It's about 8 miles, round trip. So I ride my bike out there, and sure as shit, they're not home. There's a huge hill probably a quarter of a mile long, and on the way down this hill I rode with no hands, and then it struck me. I shoved my hand in my pocket and beat my shit until I came riding a bike no-handed down a fairly steep hill. I think about this quite often, and I'm so glad I didn't fall off my bike. I ain't even mad. That's impressive. Used a plastic sandwich bag as a condom. I once heard a story about 2 people using a lace chip bag as a condom. Needless to say, the girl needed medical attention afterwards. Family size or snack size? Shoulder gone with Pringles, I guess. When I was 12, I used anything I could get my hands on to masturbate. Pens, hairbrush handles, and, most memorably, marbles. I would just let them roll around. I was a weird kid. Edit. I was going through my drawer, and I found the same marbles. They're kinda gross. Hey honey, you ever notice sometimes Jessica sounds like a can of spray paint when she comes down the stairs? Thus the name. Lost my virginity in the gym bathroom during lunch. How is good old Coach McGillicuddy? As a young horny male teen, I could easily whack it 3 to 4 times a day, double that for the weekends. I was also fairly adventurous in my self-preservation. Having grown tired of good old lefty and righty, one night I made a game-changing observation. My erect dick fit snugly into an empty paper towel roll. Clearly realizing the cardboard tube would tear my woody to shreds, I needed some kind of lubricant. Shaving cream would become that game-changing implement of masturbation. Good old Barbasol would have worked fine, but I had something else. Edge-sensitive skin shave gel. Now guys, if you have used this product on your face, you know 2 things. 1. This shit expands like crazy, and 2. It leaves your face with a tingly clean feeling. So, having filled the roll with said lubricant, I began going to town. Not too long after, I began to feel the familiar tingle that has made this shave gel famous. Except, because it was all over my penis, the sensation was multiplied by 100. I was horny and determined, so I fought through it. Ended up getting off and immediately taking a shower to rid my body of the zesty tingle. So word of advice guys, if you are going to use a paper towel roll and shaving cream as duck toys, don't use shave gel. Use Barbasol, it's also way cheaper. One summer, back in the glory days of teeming teenager sexuality, me and a few friends made a fake vagina of sorts. We took a solo cup and stuffed it with papaya towels until a nice, cushy tunnel was formed. We then took a plastic sandwich bag and lined the paper towel tunnel. We headed on down to my friend's camper in the woods and each took a turn ducking it, swapping the bag for a clean one after each use. Where things really took a turn was when we ran out of lotion to lubricate our franken pussy with and used shampoo instead. Dick dried out so bad I got an open sore, and being 13 I couldn't keep my hands off myself to let it properly heal for a good 6 to 8 months. This one is from my teenage years. I reckon I was in the 6th or the 7th grade. I was really awkward around girls, and going to an all-boys school didn't really help the case. Or maybe that's why I was awkward. So once I had a girl from my neighborhood come over at my house. We played around a bit, and when she left, I quietly went in the kitchen and took the glass she used to drink water from and kept it in my room. I actually preserved it for over a month. I don't know what I was planning to do with it. Edit. Duck it. It's a throwaway. I kissed it to get an indirect kiss. And now I'm sad. Edit 2. It's comforting to know that I'm not alone. Dude, I've got a killer. Masturbated while sharing a bed with my mother in a hotel we got stuck in on a shitty road trip. I was trying to be super quiet, didn't make a sound, but couldn't stop my legs from twitching now and then. I thought I got away with it. Until just after I came, when she rolled over, threw her hand up over her face, and started laughing hysterically. I was so embarrassed that I ran in the bathroom and threw up, and then slept on the floor. She laughed at me the entire rest of the trip. What the duck was wrong with me? I still want to throw up when I think about it. She says it's her fault for never teaching me anything about sex/the human body/puberty at any point in my life, but my parents were worried I had sleep apnea. They scheduled a sleep study for me. They hooked me up to all these sensors and told me not to roll over too much. The nurse administering the sleep study was really ducking hot, and I could see her through the glass in the other room while I was supposed to be sleeping. She was talking to another nurse and they were laughing and joking. I couldn't hear them, but oh my god, she was unbelievable to look at. So, I rubbed one out. Had no idea they could tell by reading data from those sensors. Them explaining the readings to my parents was really awkward. You've been visited by Lucky Cat. Comment, GIF me luck please. Lucky Cat for 24 hours of good luck. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe for more daily videos.